A little bit over a year ago, we uploaded our last American Indian episode.
So it has been heartening to look back over this footage and see my son sharing moments with people from Congo and Afghanistan, and of course from all over India. Muslims, Christians, Hindus, atheists, Sikhs, Jains, rejoicing in one little face of our world's future. We came to India hoping to shine a light on the good things about Indian culture, but we accomplished little more than putting smiles on some new faces and introducing our son and daughter to a world that is much bigger and more joyful than talks of border fences and big banks and bigotry.
In that episode, I talked about how I wanted to start a new show that I was going to call The India Connection, and the point of that was to keep in touch with the many friends and acquaintances and new contacts I'd made while I was in India, people I'd learned a ton from, and I wanted to keep that conversation going when I got back here to America. But 2017 proved to be very difficult. I was in between a couple different jobs. I just had kind of lost myself. We started up a new show called The India Connection a few months back, and we started just with a subreddit where people could post links, for us to respond to. At first, we were going to do the reaction thing. We realized pretty early on that really still not going to be a good fit for us, but it was a good start for us. We've gotten to connect with Indian viewers living here in America. It's been refreshing for me. It's been refreshing for our family. And I think now I'm finally ready to dive back into the goal that I had when we let go of American Indian as a series. I explained it best in that last episode of American Indian.
All I know is my channel was at its best when we were stumbling into unexpected connections with real people. I really didn't realize it until we returned to America. This channel has been at its best when focusing on people trying to understand one another, when so many special interests are telling us we cannot ever mix or work together, let alone understand one another. It's like a real-world Romeo and Juliet with 100,000 voices telling all the little people to stay in their lanes, to color within their lines, get back to your side of the map. This channel has been at its best when it dared to believe that people can be different and still be friends. I think that India is a great place for this kind of endeavor. I think Hinduism in its purest form is fertile ground for these kinds of cultural and philosophical cross-pollinations. I believe it was this guy, Anant, creative director of The Viral Fever, who once described Hinduism as an open-source religion. I think that's the best definition of Hinduism I've ever heard, and while I am not a Hindu, I feel that Hinduism at its best really is a lot like that, and you can see that influence in Indian society. India has its problems, as every place does. There has been a social and cultural tragedy of the commons that persists to this day. But I've witnessed examples of truly inspiring collaboration and camaraderie across drastic lines of economics and culture and language that give me hope for a more creative, cross-cultural, and constructive world. Our time in India may be over for the foreseeable future, but we want to keep these conversations alive. But rather than focus on specific cultural events, festivals, foods, or places as we've been doing, we're going to focus on what this channel should have been about all along: the people. Not an abstract, all-encompassing population or group, but the specific people we met while in India, the ones who became our fans, our business associates, our friends, and those who ended up feeling like family, the ones who changed our perceptions of modern India and who helped demythologize the idea of the spiritually deep and colorful Guru India. Even though we're in America, we can still keep these conversations going.
Now that I've got things better sorted out, I want to jump into what I meant to do over a year ago, which was have conversations with individual Indians living in India, living in America, living in Canada, wherever. Have these conversations through Skype or Google Hangouts or wherever, and just talk about being creative, cross-cultural, and constructive wherever you are in the world. What is inspiring you? I want to have these conversations with viewers. I want to have these conversations with people who are creating stuff. I want to have these conversations with you. So if you know someone you think should be interviewed, let me know. My plan is to start over the course of the next few months transitioning out of these more kind of catch-all where me and Melissa are just talking about whatever. We're still going to be doing that live, but I want the India Connection video to be a cut version of my conversation, our conversation, when Melissa wants to join us with an Indian who is creating something, working on something, whatever. We'll do that interview live on Twitch and YouTube. We'll experiment with that there. Anybody can chime in, watch it live, and then we'll do the cut version on Wednesdays, kind of like we've been doing with India Connection. But the focus will be our guests. I think that that's something that's more feasible for us to do. We're just still not in the place where I can dedicate the time to cutting up a weekly vlog or a daily vlog. I would like to get back into doing that at some point, but there's not enough money in it, and I just don't have enough time to cut it, working a bunch of odd jobs. In the meantime, I think this is the best way for us to keep this America to India connection going and to dig deeper into what it means to be creative, cross-cultural, and constructive. I do appreciate the patience of all the viewers who've stuck with us over the years, and I think 2018 is going to be kind of a slow year as far as this channel is concerned, but you can expect a feature film by the end of the year called Building a Better Me, about what I've been learning. And a lot of it, again, has come from these conversations cross-culturally, where we're just giving each other little bits of information that we might not have come up with on our own. It's been very constructive for me personally. So here's to more creative, cross-cultural, and constructive 2018. If you know an artist, filmmaker, musician, entrepreneur, anything, somebody that impresses you that you'd like to see featured on the show, do let me know. I'd love to interview them. Until next time, keep it creative, keep it cross-cultural, and keep it constructive, YouTubers. Thank you very much.